Hey, hello. So we are now on the second topic for the final period. So which is the methods of undetermined coefficient, and this is a solution of a non-homogeneous differential equation. So remember, in a homogeneous equation, so that equations that involves only the dependent variable, let's say it's y, and then its derivatives, and so on. So if the differential equation only involves the dependent variable as well as its derivatives, then that is a homogeneous equation. However, if a certain equation so already involves an independent variable, in this case an independent variable x, so that is already considered as a non-homogeneous differential equation. So in solving non-homogeneous differential equation, so there are two methods on how to do it. So the first one is the method of undetermined coefficient, and the next is the variation of parameters. The difference, would be in methods of undetermined coefficient. So there are limited g of x. Okay? So there are limited values for g of x. So particularly, so those are the algebraic, exponential, as well as the sine and cosine. So if the g of x is an algebraic function, or it's an exponential, or it could be a sine and a cosine, then that can be resolved by method of undetermined coefficient. Okay, so other than that, that one can already be resolved by variation of parameters. Okay, so other than the algebraic, exponential, and sine and cosine, so we can resolve it using variation of parameters. Although there are cases that in methods of undetermined coefficient, so we are just using differential calculus in finding the solution. In variation of parameters, so we will be using integration. In cases that it would be difficult to integrate and we can no longer use the variation of parameters, we have an alternative method, which is the Laplace transformation. Okay, so that's the difference between the method of undetermined coefficient and variation of parameters. Both of them are used in solving non-homogeneous differential equations. So however, the limitation of the method of undetermined coefficient, it would be simpler as compared to the variation of parameters. So in terms of the method in solving it, however, it's only limited to three types of function. So that is algebraic, exponential, as well as the sine and cosine function. So if it is already a tangent, so we could not use the method of undetermined coefficient. So we will be using variation of parameters. So any non-homogeneous equation that can no longer be resolved using method of undetermined coefficient, so we're going to use variation of parameters. But in any case that it will already be difficult to integrate, once we use the variation of parameters, then that's the time that we could use the Laplace transformation, so in finding the solution of a higher order differential equations. So what is a non-homogeneous differential equation? So this is the standard form, okay, so of a non-homogeneous differential equation. So actually it contains a homogeneous part, so which is this one. And then what makes it non-homogeneous, it's because of the presence of another function, a function of x, or the function of the independent variable. So in finding the solution of a non-homogeneous differential equation, so this would be the general solution. Okay, so this is our general solution. So which comprises of two. So we have the complementary solution. So y sub c plus the particular solution. So particular solution, or that is an answer to our trial function. Although this would yield confusion. So because in the previous examples that we have, so when we say particular solution, so we're referring to IVP, or the initial value problem. So we're substituting, let's say, when y is 0 or when x is 0, y is 1. So that is what we are referring for the particular solution before, in opposition to a general solution. But in this method, so we're referring to the particular solution as a still part of the general solution, because the general solution is the sum of the complementary solution as well as the particular solution. Okay, so if we are to find or we are to solve specifically on the initial values, so we're just going to refer that one as an IVP problem, or an initial value problem. So how do we get the complementary solution, and how do we get the particular solution? So the complementary solution is the same method as what we did for the homogeneous differential equation. So since the differential equation, part of it is homogeneous because of the presence of the dependent variable y and its derivative, that portion or that part of the differential equation so will be resolved using complementary, or will be the solution of it would be the complementary solution. Okay, so the solution of this part would be the complementary solution. So the particular solution so can be taken on the non-homogeneous part, or what makes the differential equation non-homogeneous. That is where we are going to get the particular solution. So once we have the complementary plus the particular solution, so therefore we'll be having the general solution of the differential equation. And then if there are initial values that are given on the problem, then we can resolve it, and that is what we are referring as the initial value problem, or the IVP. This is the one that we are referring as the particular solution before on our first order differential equation. Okay, so those are the solution, case of a non-homogeneous differential equation. So the general solution of it, it's a combination of the complementary solution plus the particular solution. So how do we find the solution? Of course, so we have to find the complementary function and the particular solution. And then from there, we're just going to combine, and we'll be able to find the solution, or the general solution of the non-homogeneous differential equation. So in complementary solution, so it's the same, the three cases that we have in solving homogeneous differential equations. But how do we get the particular solution? So to get the particular solution, so we should be familiar. Okay, so we should be familiar with our trial particular solution. So as you can see here, so this is the g of x. So g of x, that makes the non-homogeneous because of the presence of the independent variable x. So as I've mentioned, so this one comprises of algebraic. So okay, so as you can see here, so 1 to 4 are algebraic. And then we have this one, the sine and cosine. And the last one, we have the exponential. And then the rest would just be a combination of the three. Okay, so the rest would just be a combination of the three. It is very important, okay, so to determine the form of the particular solution. It's because once we have the correct form, then we could possibly arrive to a correct answer. If we have an incorrect form from the start, so definitely, so even if our process is correct, so we will yield to an incorrect answer. So this was mentioned as undetermined coefficient. Okay, so it is undetermined coefficient. So it's because in a particular solution, so actually, these are already our y sub b. Okay, so y sub b here is equal to a. Y sub b here is equals to ax plus b. Y sub b here is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. So that is already our particular solution. So given the form of our g of x. So for example, if our g of x is 1, okay, or if our g of x is any constant. So our trial particular solution then would be yp is equals to a. Okay, so we're just going to change the constant, okay, to an undetermined coefficient that is in the form of a, b, c, e, f, g, h, and so on and so forth. So we're not using the variable d as you will notice here. So we're not going to use variable d, okay? So it's because d sometimes denotes as derivative. Okay, so para hindi daw tayo malito. Take note here that, for example, if I would have 5x plus 7, okay, so that's an algebraic. So containing an x variable plus a constant. Okay, so our trial particular solution then, so we're just going to change the 5 into a and then the 7 into b. Okay, so because b would represent as the constant and then a would be the coefficient of x. So we just have to take a look at the degree of the algebraic function. Okay, so the highest degree would correspond the highest degree in our particular solution. So even with the absence of other part or even with the absence of other variable with a certain degree. For example, dito, so meron tayong 3x squared minus 2. So you can see here, so we have x squared as well as the constant. However, we don't have the variable x only. Okay, so wala tayong variable x. Okay? Pero, so once you write once you had written your particular solution, so all of the variables should be complete. Okay? So kaya ang tinitingnan lang actually dito is yung highest degree. So if the highest degree is 2, okay, so in this case it's 2. If the highest degree is 2, then our particular solution, so we'll start with x squared, and then followed by x, then followed by constant. Okay, so ang trial particular solution natin, so laging kompleto. Okay, so laging kompleto yung mga variables natin. So mag-start tayo dun sa highest degree down to the constant, whether that is present on the g of x or not. So ganun din dito. Look at this. So x cubed minus x plus 1. So wala tayong x squared. However, in our particular solution, they are complete. Okay, so ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus e. Okay, so that is on how to write our particular solution given that our g of x is constant, or given that our g of x is algebraic. So ngayon, what are we going to do now? So sabi ko nga, so this is already our solution. Ito na yung y of p natin. Okay, so ito na ang y of p natin. Kaya tinawag siyang method of undetermined coefficient. It's because these are undetermined. Yung a natin, yung b, yung c, yung e. Okay, so as you can see here, walang d. So because that is derivative notation. Okay, kaya hindi natin siya ginagamit. So, ang pinakagagawin lang natin is we're just going to find ano yung mga values ng undetermined coefficient. Ano ba ang A, ano ang B, ano ang C, ano ang E. Okay, so ang pinaka-first step natin, we have to determine our trial particular solution first. And then, through differentiation, so we'll be able to determine kung ano yung value ng A, B, C, and E. So parang ano lang siya, parang partial fractions. Okay? So once we have the format, so we're just going to determine what is A, what is B, what is C. Okay, so ano yung mga undetermined coefficient. Okay, next. Next for our trial particular solution are the sine and cosine. Okay, so our sine and cosine. If you have noticed on the case 3 ng homogeneous, when the roots are complex, okay, so complex numbers, and the roots are complex numbers, our solution will always be a pair of a sine and a cosine. Okay, so laging kapag may cosine, definitely may sine yan. Okay, pag may sine, definitely may cosine yan. Okay, so kaya if our g of x is only sine 4x, okay, So, ito yung sine 4x. So, lagi siyang may ka-pair na cosine 4x. And then, of course, we're just going to attach the undetermined coefficient a and b. Okay? So, a and b. Kapag cosine naman, so ayun, meron tayong cosine. And then, kasama yung pair niya na sine. Okay? They are always in pair. But, make sure na parehas yung, yung degree nila. If this is 4x, that should be 4x as well. Tapos, a and b. By the way, I might forgot. So, for our trial particular solution, our assumption for all the sign would be positive. Okay? So, kung titignan mo itong form of yp, all of them are positive. So, regardless, ito, negative x ito, no? Negative x siya, pero positive cx siya doon. Okay? So, take note of that. Marami nagkakamali doon. Sinusundan yung sign nung g of x. Hindi. Okay? So, sa particular solution, sa form ng particular solution natin, it's always positive. So, kapag exponential naman siya, ito, simple lang, exponential. So, we're just going to attach the undetermined coefficient, a. Okay, so, that is for exponential. So, what if it is a combination? Okay, so, if it is a combination. So, pag combination siya, let's say, nakamultiply siya sa exponential. So, copy mo lang yung exponential. And then, ganun din. Follow mo lang yung sa algebraic. So, x ang pinakamataas. So, ax plus b lang siya. So, tapos ito naman, x squared e raised to 5x. So, copy mo lang yung exponential. And then, of course, yung x squared natin, so dapat tatlo pa rin. ax squared bx plus c. Okay, kumpleto pa rin. Okay, so, nagre-reduce pa rin yung degree ng variable x natin. So, what if a product of exponential and sine? So, ganun pa rin. Ang sine may kasama laging cosine. So, ano lang siya nun? So, yung sine, nakamultiply sa exponential, at saka yung ka-pair niyang cosine, nakamultiply din sa exponential. So, what if it is a sine and algebraic? So, ganun ulit. Ito, sine, tapos ang kapares niya is cosine. So, kaya lang, ang sine, nakamultiply siya ng x squared. So, kaya meron tayong ex squared fx plus g. So, since kung anong ginawa mo sa sine, dapat ganun din yung nasa cosine. So, ax squared plus bx plus c din yung nandun sa product. Ito naman, tatlo sila. Okay? Nagmultiply na yung tatlo. So, ganun din. So, magmumultiply din yung tatlo. So, we'll have cosine, and then yung ka-pair niyang sine, nakamultiply sa exponential. And then, of course, x ito. So, mag-start tayo sa x, and then plus constant. Cx, then plus constant. Okay? So, we have to be familiar with this trial particular solution. So, in order for us to determine, okay, so what would be the form of our particular solution? Kasi kapag mali na tayo dito sa form ng particular solution natin, so definitely mali na yung solution natin, and so on. Okay, so to know how to use this one, so let's try to find the form of the particular solution first. So before we are going to proceed, okay, so with our solving. Okay. So sabi niya, write down the form of the particular solution. So for the first one, so let me copy it. So we're just going to determine what is yp, no? So kung titingnan mo to, so meron siyang algebraic at saka meron siyang sine. So kaya lang, I could rewrite this one. So pagsamahin ko yung algebraic, parang hindi nakakalito. 60 squared saka plus 9. Then minus 7 sine 30. So, since yung unang dalawa, so these are algebraic. Tapos itong pangalawa, sine. So, ang y of p natin nun, so yung trial natin, so algebraic siya. So, nag-start siya sa square. Okay? So, nag-start siya sa square. So, ang gagawin natin yan, so will be a, so t ang ginamit na variable, no? So, at squared, tapos pababa, plus bt, and of course, plus c. So, that is for the algebraic. Tapos, yung sa sine naman, so, lagi na una yung cosine, no? So, tapos di tayo gumagamit ng d, so plus e, okay? Then, cosine 3t, copy mo lang. Plus, of course, yung ka-pair niya na sine 3t. And then, ang undetermined coefficient niya is f. So, this would be our trial particular solution. So, yan yung trial pa lang. So, para makuha yung solution talaga, we need to find what is A, what is B, what is C, what is E, what is F. Let's have another example. So, for letter B. For letter B, exponential lahat sila, no? So, kaya lang, yung dalawa parehas, yung isa hindi. Pero kung gagawin ko yung kanina, okay, so ang y of p natin yan, so would be, so supposedly, so this is et, no? So et lang siya, nakamultiply sa kanya is constant, so that would just be a. Tapos meron tayong exponential multiplied with algebraic. So kung since algebraic yan, tapos nag-start siya sa t, so that will be bt plus c. Then e raised to negative 8t. Then plus e raised to negative 8t. Kaya lang, pag dinistribute ko kasi yan, this would be bt e raised to negative 8t plus c e raised to negative 8t plus e raised to negative 8t. As you can see here, so these two are the same. So, di ba, we can factor out e raised to negative 8t, and then we'll just have c plus e. Both of them are undetermined coefficient. So, therefore, so pwede na lang silang i-combine as 1. Actually, dito, sa una pa lang, dapat pinagsama na natin yung e raised to negative 8t in such a way that it will become a negative yon, so 5t, then minus 2, then e raised to negative 8t. So para ang particular solution natin nun, so would be a e raised to t, and then plus, ayun, so bt plus c, then e raised to negative 8t. So, kung ito yung susundan mo, so this would just be plus bt plus c, and then e raised to negative 8t. So, that would be our trial particular solution. A e raised to t plus bt plus c e raised to negative 8t. So, next. So last example for this question. So may parehas ba? Wala, no? So tignan natin. So g of t, so this would just be a e raised to negative 3t. Tapos ito, cosine at saka sine. So, kaya lang, 1 is multiplied with e raised to negative 3t, an exponential function. The other one, it's not. Okay? So, kaya ang gagawin natin yan, so that would just be plus b, yung e negative 3t cosine 60, then plus c, e raised to negative 3t sine 60. Then para dun naman sa sign lang, so that would be plus E cosine 60 plus F sine 60. Kung gusto mo siyang i-combine, so this is the same as A e raised to negative 3t ganun din. So wag na. Although we could combine, no? So yung parehas na cosine 60 at saka yung parehas na sine 60. Pero it doesn't matter. It's just the same. So this would be our trial particular solution. So again, we're just finding the trial particular solution. So we're not even. Okay, so we're not even finding the solution yet. It's just the trial particular solution. So by the way, what we have discussed here is a case 1. Okay? So it's a case 1. What do I mean by case 1? So kasi ang hinanap lang natin dito is particular solution. So we did not consider our complementary solution. Okay. Case 2 arises when? Okay. So take note of this. So case 1, no terms in particular solution that is present in complementary solution. Although dun sa una hindi man tayo naghanap ng particular ng complementary kasi ang binigay lang is the g of t. So dito naman sa case 2 naman there are terms in particular solution so which are present in complementary solution. So there are terms in particular solution so which are present in complementary solution. So that is case 2. So yung case 1, there are no terms in particular solution that is present in complementary solution. So what do I mean with that? So for example, meron tayong higher order differential equation. Example, the first one. As I've mentioned, so this part, so this is where we're going to get the complementary solution. This g of t, this would be our particular solution. So before we form our particular solution, so let's try to solve first our complementary solution y of c. So we're just going to treat the equation as homogeneous. So that is yung y double prime plus 3y prime minus 28y is equals to 0. Then I'm just going to make it m squared plus 3m minus 28 is equals to 0. So can we factor this out? Okay, so 28 is 7 and 4. So m and m have 7 and 4. 28. Then I need a positive. So plus 7m minus 4m. So that is positive 3m. So from here, so we can get that our m1 is equals to negative 7. And then our m2 is equals to positive 4. So we can now write our complementary solution. So to be C1 e raised to negative 7t. So ito yung ginagamit natin, no? C1 e raised to negative 7t and then plus C2 e raised to 4t. So this would be our complementary solution. So next is we have our g of t. Okay, so ang g of t natin is 7t plus e raised to negative 7t minus 1. So just like what we did before, so 7t minus 1 plus e raised to negative 7t. So that will be equal to our particular solution then, so would be at plus b. And then plus from here, so we'll have c e raised to negative 70. So this would become our trial particular solution. So that would be our trial particular solution. But what is the problem with our trial particular solution? It's because there is a part of the particular solution, a term of the particular solution, which is this one, that is present on the complementary solution. So they are the same. So c e raised to negative 70 and then c1 e raised to negative 70. So if that will be the case, this one falls under case 2. Okay, so may libreng salad. Mainit na. Anyway, so since this is case 2, so anong gagawin natin? Kasi this is not allowed. Kasi if you're going to do it, okay, you will not be able to find the values of the undetermined coefficient. Wala kang makukuhang A. Wala kang makukuhang B kasi nagka-cancel out lahat sila. Okay? So pag nagka-cancel out lahat ng mga yan, ibig sabihin, that is case 2. Okay? So your trial particular solution, a part of it, is in the complementary solution. Okay? So how do we do it? Okay? So parang kamukha yan nung sa homogeneous, di ba? So dun sa homogeneous, so ang ginagawa natin is nagmumultiply tayo ng independent variable. Okay? So nagmumultiply tayo ng independent variable so para walang maging kamukha. Okay? So dun sa complementary solution natin. Okay, so what are we going to do? So magi-start lang tayo sa t. Okay, so ang gagawin natin, so y of p will be then, pabayaan natin yung ano, so huwag mong pakialaman nito. This is fine. So yung nagkamukha lang, sila lang imumultiply natin, no? So that would be, so ito c, we're just going to multiply it with t. So plus c t e raised to negative 70. And then look at it. So pag na-multiply ko na siya ng t, then tingin ulit ako dun sa complementary, meron pa ba siya ulit na kamuka? Okay? So kung meron pa siya ulit na kamuka, multiply another t. Okay, so magiging t squared siya nun. Okay, pag meron pa rin, multiply it another t hanggat wala na siyang maging kamuka dun sa complementary solution. So in this case, so nung na-multiply ko na siya ng t, so I'll have ct e raised to negative 70. There's no such thing on the complementary solution. So therefore, this will be our final particular solution. Okay? So this is our final particular solution. Let's try another one. Okay, so next we have the y double prime plus 4y is equals to e raised to negative 2t sine t over 2 plus 6t cosine t over 2. Okay, so we'll start with complementary solution. So this would be 4m squared. And then plus y is just 1. Correct? So 4m squared plus 1. And it's equals to 0. And then, so this would be 4m squared is equals to negative 1. So m squared will be negative 1/4. So m then would be, so positive, negative, square root of 1/4. So square both sides. Positive, negative 1/2. And that will be I. So positive, negative 1/2 I because of the negative. So ang YC natin nun, so would be C1. So wala, ang alpha natin is 0, ang beta natin is 1/2. So that will be C1. So cosine, ayun, so t over 2, saka plus C2, okay, so sine t all over 2. So that is our YC. So for our particular solution then, so we have our g of t. So ang g of t natin is e raised to negative 2t. So sine t all over 2. Then plus 6t cosine t all over 2. So ang yp natin yan, so we'll start with the first one. So since sine yan, so I'll start with cosine t all over 2. So yung isa, so kapare niya is sine t all over 2. However, nakamultiply sa ng exponential, e raised to negative 2t. So, meron ding e raised to negative 2t doon. Kaya natouch lang tayo ng undetermined coefficient. And then next, so we have the 6t. So that will be, so again, so cosine, so t all over 2, at saka sine t all over 2. And then since that is t, so we'll have the b, so ct plus e. Okay. Tapos plus ft plus g. So ngayon, meron bang magkamukha? Meron, di ba? So ano yung magkamukha? So definitely this one. Ito. Ito tsaka to, kamukha niya to. Ito naman, kamukha niya yung ayun. So ngayon, so to again, so this is case 2. So to resolve this one, so our y of p, our final y of p then, so would just be a e raised to negative 2t cosine t all over 2 plus b e raised to negative 2t sine t all over 2. And then magmumultiply ako ng t dito. Okay, so multiply tayo ng t doon. So ganun din dito. So lahat. Okay, so yung nakamultiply ng buo. Kasi ako nung minultiply ko lang dun sa e, magpaparehas naman sila. Okay? So, hindi sila pwede mag-combine. So, this one, so will become c t squared plus et cosine t all over 2 then plus f t squared plus gt sine t all over 2. So this now will become our new trial particular solution. As you can see here, so wala na siyang kamuka dun sa complementary solution natin. Complementary solution involves only a constant. So we don't have a constant here anymore. Okay, so may nakamultiply na silang independent variable t. I think, so let me add a page. So next, the last one. Ito, medyo mahaba-haba. Okay, so we have y double prime plus 8y prime plus 16y is equal to e negative 40 plus t squared plus 5 e raised to negative 40. Okay, so this one will become, so m squared plus 8m then plus 16 is equals to 0. So factor of 16 is 4 and 4. So I think this would be m 4, this is 4, so plus 4 plus 4. So we have m1 which is the same as m2 which is equal to negative 4. So m1 is equals to m2 which is negative 4. So from here, so our y of c then, so will become, this is what I've mentioned, as long as the term are the same, so we're just going to multiply 1 with t. Okay? So in this case, this would be c1 t e raised to negative 4t plus c2 e raised to negative 40. So c1 t e raised to negative 40 and c2. This is case 2 on our homogeneous. Okay? So c1 t e raised to negative 40 and then plus c2 e raised to negative 40. That's our complementary. However, so for our g of t, so that is e raised to negative 40 plus t squared plus 5. And then we have e raised to negative 40. I think we can combine the two. Right? Am I correct with my given? So let me double check. Okay, so they are really the same. So from here, so I could combine it first. So this is e raised to negative 40 plus 5 e raised to negative 40. That is the same as t squared plus 6 e raised to e raised to negative 40. So 1 plus 5. So that will be 6. So in here, so supposedly our y of p should be a t squared plus b t then plus c then multiply it with e raised to negative 40. However, we have this one. Itong dalawa. So bt plus c multiplied with e raised to negative 40, it resembles our y of c. Okay? So what are we going to do? So we're going to multiply this one by t. So actually the whole of this by t. So doing so that would become a t cubed plus b t squared plus c t e raised to negative 40. However, doing so, we still have this one, the ct e raised to negative 40. Okay. I'm going to use another this. So this one, the ct e raised to negative 40, it's still this one. Are still the same. So therefore, I'm still going to multiply everything by t again. So yp then, so would become a t raised to the 4th plus b t cubed and plus c t squared e raised to negative 40. And from here, so you can see that there's no term on our yp that is present anymore on our y of c. So therefore, so this one will become, okay, so this one will become our trial particular solution. So which is another case 2. Okay, so that is on how to get the trial particular solution. So whether that one belongs to case 1 or whether that one belongs to case 2.